The ship groaned and shuddered as it fell through the cloudy sky. Inside the bridge, alarms screamed and lights flickered. Captain John Harris fought the wheel with all his strength. He watched the ship's controls fail one by one. He felt sweat on his brow and grit in his mouth. He did not want to die here. Outside, the planet's surface grew closer. Jagged rocks and green forests rushed up to meet them. The hull of the starship Prometheus cracked with a loud snap. John felt the whole ship tilt. He held on to the arm of his chair. His heart pounded like a drum. Suddenly the ship hit the ground. The impact threw John forward. He smashed into the control panel. Sparks flew around him. He saw red lights explode across the screens. The ship shook again. He heard a distant cry. He blinked and tried to clear his vision. He looked across the bridge. Smoke curled from a broken pipe. The air was thick with dust. He coughed and wiped his face. The warning lights glowed like angry eyes. He tried to stand, but his leg hurt. He looked down and saw blood seeping through his uniform. He shook his head and ignored it. There was more to worry about. He crawled toward the door. He pushed himself upright and staggered forward. The corridor past the bridge was warped and twisted. Panels hung from the walls. A loose panel sparked at his feet. He jumped back. He saw dark shapes moving in the gloom. Crew members lay on the floor. Some moaned. Others did not move at all. He heard a weak call. John ... help me ... It was Lily. He rushed toward the voice. He rounded a corner and found her near a burst pipe. She lay slumped on the deck. Her hand pressed against her chest. Her face was pale. Her eyes were half closed. "Lily!" he cried. He knelt beside her. She tried to lift her head. Blood stained her uniform. Her breaths came fast and ragged. He took her hand in his. Her fingers were cold. John ... she whispered, her voice soft and weak. She coughed and winced. He reached to lift her, but she shook her head. Her dark hair fell across her face. He brushed it aside. "Stay with me, Lily. Help is coming. You'll be fine." He pressed his hand to her wound. The red stain spread. She tried to speak again. "I saw ... Her eyes closed for a moment. He squeezed her hand. "Lily, don't go." "Please stay." "With me?" He glanced at the corridor. Smoke poured down the hall. Strange sounds echoed from deeper inside the ship. The life support lights blinked. She opened her eyes and looked up at him. "John ... you must lead them ... she coughed. He heard a soft pop. Her hand fell limp. Her chest lay still. "Lily! Lily!" He shook her. He pressed his ear to her chest. He felt no heartbeat. His breath caught in his throat. He closed his eyes. He opened them and looked beyond her. The corridor was darker now. The life support had failed. He could see clouds of green mist drifting in. It meant the air was going bad. He checked his own air gauge. It read 20 minutes of oxygen, enough for now, but no time to waste. He slid. Lily's arm across his lap. He rose to his feet. His leg burned with pain. He ignored it and leaned on the wall. He felt his uniform paper thin. He needed to get out. He looked at Lily's pale face. His friend and second-in-command lay cold. He could not leave her here. He shook his head. His jaw tightened. He searched his pocket and found a small data pad. He tapped it. A faint light glowed. It showed the layout of the ship. The escape pods lay ahead. He tapped the route in. The path lit up in green. It looked safe. He hoped so. He held Lily close. He carried her in his arms. Each step was slow and heavy. The ship creaked. The floor buckled. He stumbled twice. On the second, Lily's head slipped off his arm. He caught her just in time. He whispered, "I've got you, Lily. I've got you." He pushed on around a bend. The corridor opened into a large hold. Supplies and boxes lay scattered. The ceiling lights were out. Only emergency lights glowed red. He saw figures moving in the shadows. "Over here," he called. A crew member crawled toward him. It was Sergeant Megan Hill. She dragged a wounded engineer behind her. "John!" she gasped. "We're trapped." The door jammed. She pointed at the far wall. A heavy blast door hung crooked. He ran over. He pressed his shoulder against the control panel. He tried to open it. Sparks flew. Nothing happened. He glanced at Lily in his arms. "We need another way. Follow me." He rose and turned toward the next corridor. Megan nodded and motioned the engineer forward. He pushed on, hugging Lily tight. He heard the engineer moan. Megan held the engineer's hand. They formed a small line behind him. The green mist began to pool at the floor edges. He stopped at a junction. 3 corridors branched off. The pad said left led to the escape pods. He moved toward it. Megan limped beside him with the engineer. A loud rumble shook the hold. The floor cracked. Megan cried out. The engineer slammed into the wall. John caught them both. He saw the ceiling beam cracking. It would fall any second. He pulled Lily close and ducked. The beam crashed down. Dust flew everywhere. He covered Lily with his body. He felt wood splinters dig into his back. He held his breath. When the dust settled, he peeked out. The beam lay broken. Lily was safe under his arm. Megan and the engineer lay next to them. Not hurt, he sighed and stood. The mist rose closer. He looked at his team. "We must move, now." He found a maintenance hatch in the wall. He pried it open and crawled in, Lily in his arms. Megan and the engineer followed. The tunnel was tight and dark. He tapped his light. It shone on metal walls and pipes. The air was stale. He heard the mist sizzle on the pipes. He moved forward. He felt Lily shift in his arms. He looked down. Her eyes fluttered. He gasped. She blinked and looked at him. "John?" she whispered. Her voice was faint but clear. He froze. His heart leaped. "Lily, you're alive!" He hugged her. She coughed. Megan and the engineer pressed close. "How?" Megan asked. Lily touched John's arm. "I don't know. I felt a warmth. And then ... Her voice failed. She closed her eyes again. John studied her face. She looked pale but breathing. He felt hope rise. He recalled Lily's last words. "Lead them ... He swallowed. He straightened and pressed on. The tunnel wound deeper. Pipes dripped. He saw light ahead. He climbed through a grate and emerged into the escape pod bay. The pods sat in silence. One pod's hatch stood open. The mist hugged the floor. He carried Lily toward the open pod. Megan helped him through the hatch. He laid Lily on the seat. Megan and the engineer followed. He tapped at the controls. The pod flickered to life. Outside the window, he saw the jungle. Alien trees swayed in a dark wind. Strange birds cried in the sky. He closed the hatch and secured the seal. He went to the control panel. He set the pod's course. It aimed away from the wreck. He hit launch. The pod shuddered and rose. The ship's hold fell away. John stood beside Lily. He watched the jungle recede. His heart felt heavy and hopeful at once. Lily lay breathing softly. He did not understand what happened. But he would find out. He pressed his hand to Lily's. "You're safe now, I promise." She opened her eyes and looked at him. "Thank you, John, . She whispered. He nodded and took a deep breath. The pod flew into the sky. He stared at the clouds. He wondered what lay ahead. He did not feel afraid. He felt driven. He turned to his small crew. Megan and the engineer watched him. Lily slept. "Quietly," John said. "We will survive this. And we will find out why Lily is still with us." He held Lily's hand and watched the stars appear above the cloud layer. His heart beat strong. He was not alone. John pressed his hand against the cold glass of the pod's small window. Below him, the jungle rolled away in wide swaths of green. Strange shapes moved among the trees. The other survivors watched beside him. Megan sat in silence. The engineer, Lucas Williams, stared at the control panel. John looked at Lily's seat. She slept, her chest rising and falling. He carried her in his arms when he first found her alive. He did not understand how she lived. He only knew he must protect her. Megan spoke first. "Captain, we should land soon. Our oxygen will run out." Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed fear. John nodded. "We will land near a river. We can refill our air tanks and gather supplies." Lucas tapped the panel. "The pod sensors show a river ahead. It's a calm stretch. We can try." He swallowed. "I hope the landing gear holds." John held Lily tight. "She needs fresh air, too." They guided the pod toward a clearing. Tall trees stood around a wide river. The ground looked soft but firm. John. Watch the sensors. They read 10 minutes of oxygen left. John eased the pod down. He hit the release. The gear dropped and locked. The pod shook as it touched the ground. Dust rose around them. When the pod stopped, Megan and Lucas crawled out. John opened the hatch. Fresh air rushed in. He breathed deeply. He carried Lily out. The ground was damp and cool under his boots. He set Lily on a blanket. Megan unpacked. He opened her faceplate. Lily took a breath and her eyes fluttered. She sat up. You are safe, John said. Just rest. She nodded. Thank you. She looked around. Where are we? Lucas pointed at the river. We landed by the river. We can get water and air here. Megan opened a small crate. She pulled out oxygen bottles and tools. She handed one to John. You and Lily share this. Lucas and I will fill ours at the pump. She pointed to a metal device on the pod. John took the bottle. He attached the tube to Lily's mask. She breathed the fresh air. John breathed from his own mask. Megan and Lucas worked the pump. It hissed and clanked. They filled 2 bottles. Megan wiped sweat from her brow. John looked at Lily. She leaned back. Her eyes closed. He studied her face. She seemed calm but weak. He feared for her life. Suddenly Lily's eyes opened. She reached out toward the trees. John ... over there ... Her voice was faint. John knelt beside her. What do you see? She turned to look behind them. The forest was silent. No one else was near. John stood and scanned the trees. He saw nothing out of place. Lily stared. I heard them. They move in the trees. She shivered. John frowned. You heard sounds? Lily nodded. Soft ... whispering ... guiding me ... double quotes. John looked at Megan and Lucas. They met his gaze. Megan shrugged. Lucas laid a reassuring hand on John's shoulder. John kneeled again. Lily, you need to rest. She took a shaky breath. I will, but I feel they wait for me. John sighed. We will stay here until you recover strength, then we move on. She nodded and closed her eyes. They set a small camp near the river. John and Lucas collected water. They filled canteens and filtered the water. Megan gathered simple root vegetables from the forest floor. They chopped and cooked stew over a small flame. As the meal cooked, John walked along the riverbank. He gazed at the water. He wondered if they were alone. His crew was small. He had lost many with the crash. He lost Lily once. He did not want to lose her again. He heard Lucas call. He returned. Megan placed bowls of stew on logs. John sat and poured water into Lily's bowl. She drank slowly. The warm liquid soothed her throat. John said, You must eat and regain strength. Lily ate. She looked up at John. I feel stronger. He smiled. Good. When you are ready, we move on. Hours passed. Lily rested. John and the others planned the route. They checked the pod's map. They saw an alien temple icon on the edge of the jungle. Megan said, We should head there. It is our best chance for rescue, Lucas agreed. Maybe the aliens will help. Or at least we find supplies. John nodded. We go at dawn. Rest well tonight. That night, John kept watch. The fire crackled. Megan and Lucas slept. Lily sat by the fire, gazing at the flames. John joined her. Can you see them again? She looked at him. They are here. Around us, but I cannot see them. I only hear the guide. John felt a chill. The voices again. Lily nodded. They speak my name. They show me the path. John said, They will lead us to the temple. Lily looked at him. Yes. John patted her hand. Rest now. I will watch. He returned to his post. He stared into the dark forest. Strange sounds echoed. Leaves rustled. He felt someone watching. He gripped his rifle. Who is there? Silence. He shook his head. He sat by the fire until dawn. When the sun rose, he woke Megan and Lucas. Lily stood and stretched. She looked strong. They broke camp. John carried the heavier pack. Megan held Lily's arm. Lucas carried tools. They moved through the jungle. Lily led the way. She moved with purpose. She did not speak. She listened. John watched her. He saw her lips move. He heard her whisper. Megan asked, "What do you hear?" Lily replied, "The path." "Follow me." They went deeper. The jungle grew darker. Trees arched overhead. Roots snaked on the ground. The air smelled sweet and damp. Lucas tripped on a root. He fell. He looked up. "Watch your step," John helped him. Careful. They pressed on until they found a narrow path. The path was lined with tall stones. Strange carvings covered them. Lily stopped. She touched a stone. "Here." John read the carvings. "Ancient marks," Megan said. "The temple is close." They followed the path. It wound uphill. The carvings glowed faintly in the early light. John felt hope. "We are close, Lily." Lily nodded. "I feel them." They climbed the last rise. Before them sat the alien temple. Tall spires rose into the sky. The entrance looked like a giant mouth. John felt awe. "Incredible!" Lily stepped forward. "They brought us here." Megan loaded her rifle. "Stay close." Lucas readied his tool. "Let's go." John stood beside Lily. "Together." Lily looked at him. Her eyes shone. "Together." They entered the temple. John led his small group deeper into the alien temple. The walls glowed with faint blue light. Strange symbols covered every surface. Megan and Lucas held their weapons ready. Lily stayed close to John, her eyes on the carvings. They entered a wide chamber. Pillars rose like tree trunks. A pool of clear water lay in the center. The water was still and calm. John felt a chill. He stepped forward. "This place is quiet." Lily whispered, "They watch us." She looked at the pool. "They wait." "Here." Megan scanned the room. No sign of living aliens. "But I feel something." John nodded. "Stay alert." He moved to the pool's edge. The water reflected the glowing symbols. He saw his own face. Then the face changed. It became Lily's face, smiling. He jumped back. "What is this?" Lily approached. "It's a mirror of the mind. It shows what you think." Lucas bent to look. "I see data streams, star maps. Knowledge. Megan frowned. "It's an archive?" John shook his head. "Or a trap." Lily touched the water. Ripples spread. The pool glowed brighter. A figure rose from the surface. It was a hologram of an alien queen. She wore a tall crown. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes glowed white. The queen spoke. Her voice echoed in the chamber. "Welcome, humans. You enter my domain." John raised his hands. "We seek help. Our ship crashed. My crew is wounded. We need aid." The queen's image smiled. "I can save your crew. I can give life back too. The fallen, but such power demands price." John felt tension. "What do you ask?" The queen's eyes bored into his mind. "A pledge of loyalty. You will serve my empire when you return to your world. You will guide your people to join me." Megan gasped. "We can't promise that." Lucas said. "We owe you for saving us, but loyalty?" He shook his head. The queen's image grew larger. The pillars trembled. Symbols glowed brighter. "Without my gift, you die here. With it, you rise stronger. You will carry my message." John clenched his jaw. He looked at Lily. She stood silent, calm. He remembered her dying words. "Lead them," he nodded. "We accept your terms. Save our crew." The queen smiled. "So be it." The pool glowed white. Light filled the chamber. John felt warmth on his skin. The air shimmered. He saw shapes forming at the pool's edge. Corpses lay on stone slabs. John recognized faces from his ship. He saw the injured engineer and fallen crew. Megan cried softly. The queen spoke. They returned to life. A beam of light hit each body. Their chests rose. Their eyes opened. They gasped for air. John felt hope. "Thank you." But the light turned to Lily. She lifted her hand. Her eyes glowed pale blue. The light entered her chest. John rushed forward. "Lily!" She fell to her knees. The light pulsed around her. She cried out, then fell silent. John knelt. He checked her pulse. It was strong. Her eyes opened. They glowed like the queen's. She stood. Her skin glowed. She looked at John. "I am changed." John rose. "Are you alive?" Lily smiled, but her face looked different. "More than alive. I remember everything. The empire, the queen's will." John frowned. You accepted the Queen's terms, Lily nodded. I will serve. But I will serve you too. John felt conflict. He looked at Megan and Lucas. They stared at Lily. Megan said, Captain, are you sure? John said, We have no choice. He turned to the Queen's image. Thank you for your gift. The image faded. Only the glowing symbols remained. The pool was dark. John took Lily's hand. Come on, we must leave. They walked out of the chamber. The revived crew followed. They felt stronger. Lucas tested his arm. It felt new. Megan said, I don't like this power. John replied, We will use it wisely. Lily stayed close. Her eyes shone. I know what to do. I will guide us. They emerged into the sunset outside the temple. The jungle lay around them. The storm clouds cleared. John watched Lily. He felt both hope and fear. She was alive and changed. They had power, but at what cost? He spoke quietly. We go home, Lily nodded. Yes, together. John turned to his crew. To the pod. We leave now. They marched toward their escape pod. The path was clear. The jungle no longer seemed hostile. Lucas smiled. I feel strong. Megan said, Let's go. John led. Lily stood behind him. Her hand on his shoulder, he felt her warmth. He did not know what lay ahead, but he knew one thing. They would face it together. The rhythmic hum of alien machinery filled the chamber. John stood at the center, surrounded by his revived crew. Lily stood behind him, her pale blue eyes glowing softly. The alien symbols on the floor pulsed with light. The air felt thick with power. John's heart pounded. He looked at the Queen's glyphs etched into the stone floor. The circle inside the chamber glowed bright white around the glyphs. The symbols hovered above the ground like golden vines. John held his breath. Megan and Lucas stood to his right. They watched John with uncertain eyes. They trusted him, but feared what they had done. John took a deep breath and steadied his shoulders. Lily reached out and touched John's shoulder. Her hand felt warm. He shivered. He turned slightly to look at her. Her eyes shimmered with intelligence beyond human. She nodded. John spoke. We begin, Lily whispered. Yes. John stepped into the outer ring of symbols. He knelt, placing his hands on the glyphs. He felt a soft vibration. The symbols warmed his skin. He reminded himself of their promise. Around him, his crew circled. Each member knelt at a glyph. Megan's eyes met his. She gave him a small smile and a nod. Lucas's fingers twitched at the symbols. John closed his eyes. He focused on his crew's safety. He remembered the crash, Lily's death, and how she came back. He thought of Earth and the people waiting. He thought of the Queen's terms. A low hum rose. The glyphs glowed stronger. The floor beneath them shivered. John opened his eyes. He saw streams of light rise from each symbol. He heard a voice in his mind. A soft echo. Do you serve? He swallowed. He whispered, I serve the promise. The light streams converged above them. They formed a translucent figure, the alien Queen. She wore her crown like a halo. Her arms opened. John's mind trembled. He felt her power push against him. He saw visions, fleets of human ships, alien banners, a united empire. He felt duty and fear. He stood. He met her image's gaze. I promise loyalty. The Queen's figure smiled. The light streams fell back to the glyphs, then into the ground. The chamber fell silent. John exhaled. Weak tendrils of dust fell from the ceiling. His crew rose and dusted themselves off. Lucas said, It's done. Megan looked at John. Your promise. John replied, We are bound, but we choose how to use this. We must trust Lily. He turned. Lily approached him, stepping through the glyph. Circle as if it held no power. He felt her shift. She stood before him, hands folded. Her voice was calm and clear. I am whole. The Queen made me new, but I remain me. John reached for her hand. She placed her hand in his. Her skin glowed faintly. Megan asked, What now? Lily's eyes glowed brighter. We leave this place. We must fulfill our side. John nodded. We keep our word. And free ourselves. The crew filed out of the chamber. John and Lily brought up the rear. John felt Lily's strength beside him. Outside, the alien ruin lay still. The jungle wind moved the vines on stone. The setting sun painted the sky orange. John felt both weight and hope. He spoke softly. We have power now. We can warn Earth. Lily squeezed his hand, and more. We can unite or we can fight. He looked at her. Together we decide, she smiled. Together. They walked to the escape pod nestled in the jungle clearing. Their revived crew boarded. John and Lily entered last. Lucas strapped in. He said, Ready, Captain. Megan joined them. She gripped her rifle. Set course. John turned to Lily. She tapped the control. The pod systems HUD. John placed Lily's hand on the launch switch. She hesitated, then nodded and flipped it. The pod shook. Engines roared. The craft detached from the ground. John watched the jungle recede. His heart ached for home. He turned to Lily. Her face held calm determination. John whispered, I believe. In you, she replied. I believe in us. The pod climbed into the sky. Stars emerged. Earth waited. An empire watched. Their promise held strong. The pod's engines hummed softly as it cut through the thin atmosphere. Inside, John Harris sat beside Lily Morgan. His eyes never left her face. She looked calm, almost untouched by the trials they had faced. John remembered how she had fallen, how her body lay still in his arms. He still felt the weight of that moment. Now she sat beside him, alive with alien power. He did not know what to feel. Lily turned to him. Her eyes glowed pale blue. She spoke in a clear, even voice. John, I understand why you fear me. John nodded. I do. You died, then you came back. You are not the same. She took a breath. The Queen revived me with her energy. She told me of a plan. Humans and aliens must stand as one. She gave me knowledge of her empire. John frowned. Why revive you? What does she gain? Lily looked out the window. The stars raced past. She sees humans as worthy allies. She wants a strong coalition. My revival shows her faith in our kind. John rubbed his forehead. But she demanded loyalty. We pledged ourselves. Lily nodded. Yes, you and the crew swore. But her plan is not evil. She wants to face a greater threat beyond her empire. She told me that her world faces a darkness. She believes humans can help. John studied her. Darkness? He searched her eyes. What threat? Lily closed her eyes. She spoke of a void. A power that consumes worlds. It lies beyond the frontier. Her empire mapped it, but cannot fight it alone. She needs humans' courage. John leaned back. He felt the pod's gentle vibration. Is this true? Lily opened her eyes. I sense no lie. Her mind is vast. She shared visions with me. You saw some in the temple. John remembered the hologram. The Queen's image had shown him starfleets and war. He felt awe and fear. Could it be real? He turned to Lucas Williams. The engineer sat behind them, checking the pod systems. Lucas, you heard the Queen speak? Lucas said, I did. The ritual connected me too. I saw terrible things, worlds consumed by shadow. Megan Hill, the sergeant, sat across from John. She gripped her rifle. We didn't ask for this. But if it is true, maybe this is bigger than us. John exhaled. So the Queen revived Lily not to betray us, but to prepare us for war. Lily spoke again. Yes, she chose me as a bridge between our species. She wants unity. John turned back to Lily. He studied her face. She looked human, but the glow in her eyes told another story. He reached for her hand. She met his gaze. I am still me. I feel your touch. I feel human, but my mind holds more. I know alien technologies and history. John squeezed her hand. Then teach us. Teach me. Lily nodded. I will, but we must land. First, we need supplies. The pod descended toward a rocky plain. The ground was barren and gray. Jagged stones scattered across the land. A distant mountain range lay on the horizon. John guided the pod to a flat area. The engines flared as it touched down. He cut power and opened the hatch. Fresh air rushed in. The wind carried dust and ash. The sky was pink and red. The gravity felt light. Megan and Lucas climbed out. John helped Lily. Her skin shimmered in the light. John said, "This planet is uninhabited." "Why land here?" Lily looked around. "This world once held outposts of the Empire. We can find spare parts and data logs." Lucas nodded. "Good idea. We need to repair the pod if we hope to return." They gathered supplies from nearby ruins. Metal. Fragments, broken cables, and old power cells lay scattered. They worked in silence, each lost in thought. Finally, Lucas said, "I can rig these cells to boost the engine." "But it may strain the system," Megan added. "We should test communications. We need to call for help." John watched Lily. She knelt before a broken console. Her glowing eyes scanned the alien characters. She placed her hands on the panel. The console lit up. John gasped. "You can interface?" Lily smiled. "Yes, the Queen's energy flows through me. I can read their language." She tapped symbols. The console flickered. A faint hum grew. A holographic map appeared above the panel. It showed star systems and trade. Routes. John and the others stared. Megan whispered. "Incredible," Lily spoke. "The Queen's archive." "We can send a message from here." John stepped forward. "Send to Earth. Tell them of the threat?" Lily nodded. She typed symbols. The console hummed louder. A beam of light shot into the sky. A silent signal flew across space. John watched the beam fade. "It's done." "Now we wait." Lily rose. She brushed dust from her uniform. "Earth will receive. But the Empire will notice too." John frowned. "We agreed to serve them. We cannot hide." Lily looked at him. "We can join them openly. We can prepare together." John sighed. "Very well, we sail to the Empire. We stand with them, but our loyalty is ours to give." Lily smiled. "Then we are allies, not slaves." He nodded. "Yes." They climbed back into the pod. Lucas tightened the last bolt. Megan closed the hatch. John started the engines. As they lifted off, Lily reached for John. "Together, John." He placed his hand over hers. "Together." The pod soared into the sky. The pink horizon glowed below. John looked at Lily. She returned his gaze with warmth. He whispered, "Thank you for coming back." Lily smiled. "Thank you for trusting me." The pod jumped into faster-than-light drive. Stars stretched into lines. John leaned back. He closed his eyes. He thought of Earth. He thought of the Empire's fleets. He thought of the darkness beyond. He opened his eyes. He saw Lily's hand still in his. He said, "No matter what comes, we face it together." Lily nodded. "Together." The pod glowed softly as it slipped through the starlit void. John Harris sat at the control panel, his eyes fixed on the navigation screen. Beside him, Lily Morgan studied alien logs on a datapad. The rest of the crew rested or worked quietly at their stations. John felt a calm resolve settle in him. He trusted Lily more than ever. "Approaching human space," Lucas Williams announced. He pointed at the screen. A blue-green planet spun slowly ahead. Earth. John's heart skipped. He had not seen his home world in months. He thought of his family, friends, and the world leaders who needed warning. Megan Hill, ever vigilant, checked the external cameras. "Space traffic is low. We should land at the secondary station. It's safer." John nodded. "Set course." He tapped the controls. The pod angled toward a small orbital station just above Earth's atmosphere. It was a relic from early space exploration. But still active, Lily rose from her seat. She walked to John. "I can open the main channel." He turned to her. "Do it." He watched the station appear larger in the view screen. Lily placed her hands on the console. Her glowing eyes focused. Strange symbols wrapped around her fingers. The console hummed and lights danced across its surface. A clear human voice crackled through. "Unidentified vessel. State your identity and purpose." A calm female voice echoed in the cabin. John took a breath. He straightened his uniform jacket. "This is Captain John Harris of the U.S. Starship Liberty. We have vital intelligence of an imminent threat from an alien empire. We request immediate docking permission." He waited. The crackled. The station's voice replied, "Captain Harris, Liberty is decommissioned and lost years ago. Your request is unusual. Please provide verification code." John glanced at Lily. She nodded. He read the alien code she had prepared. Numbers and symbols rolled off his tongue. He spoke slowly. Verification. Sierra 3 Delta Alpha. And glyph. Sequence Omega Epsilon. He paused. The voice fell silent. Moments passed, then it spoke. Verification accepted. Docking Baby 7. Approach Vector 142.5. Be advised, authentication flagged your craft's off-grid signature. Ground teams will meet you, John exhaled. Thank you, he turned to the crew. Ready for docking. The pod's thrusters fired gently. It angled toward the station. Outside, a docking clamp reached out. John guided the pod in. With a soft thud, it latched. Alarms chimed and lights turned green. He unstrapped and stood. We're connected. Let's move. The hatch opened. A small team of uniformed officers stood on the station's bay. Their faces held surprise as they saw Lily, her glowing eyes caught their gaze. John led his crew out, Lily at his side. The lead officer stepped forward. Captain Harris. I am Commander Patel. Please follow me. They walked through sterile corridors. John felt the station's hum under his boots. He glanced at Lily. She looked around, curious and calm. Patel guided them to a secure conference room. Inside, a holographic map of the solar system hovered above a table. Several officials waited, military officers, scientists, and diplomats. John recognized General Ramirez, head of Earth's defense. Ramirez stood when John entered. Captain. Harris, we thought you were lost. John nodded. We thought so too. But we have returned with grave news. He stepped to the hologram. An alien empire beyond known space plans to expand into our sector. Their mission fleet moves toward Sol, their goal, assimilation of civilizations. They revived my second-in-command. As their envoy. She holds knowledge of their technology and plans. Murmurs rose. Scientists studied Lily. Diplomats whispered. Ramirez raised his hand. Calm, Captain, we need full details. John signaled Lily. She stepped forward. The Queen's Empire discovered a void entity beyond their borders. It consumes stars and civilizations. Their king reached out to humans for help. They revived me with alien energy to serve as a bridge. Their fleet's purpose is to unite, not destroy. But without our help, they fear the void will turn on them and then us. He paused. We pledged loyalty to aid the Empire. I brought proof. He held up an alien data orb. This contains their star maps and threat analysis. A scientist, Dr. Green, took the orb. She scanned it with a handheld reader. Data streamed in the air, star charts, evacuation protocols, weapon schematics. She gasped. This is real. The void signature matches unexplained cosmic events near the Vega system. Ramirez looked at John. We must warn Earth and the United Nations Security Council. Lily's testimony and these logs will form the basis of our defense. Treaty with the alien empire, John said, time is short. Their fleet arrives within months. Preparations must begin now, Ramirez nodded. Mobilize, Captain, your crew will brief our top scientists. Lily, you will assist in translating their technology. We have much to learn. Lily bowed her head. I will help. John stood beside her. He felt pride and relief. We stand ready. Later, John and Lily walked out onto a viewing deck. Below them, Earth's blue sphere filled the window. Lights showed continents and cities. Lily took John's hand. Your world is beautiful. She smiled softly. John kissed her hand. And thank you for saving mine. They stood together, watching Earth's dawn. Around them, humanity rallied to face its greatest challenge. But they were not alone. They had an Empire's alliance and the love that brought Lily back. John whispered, we will protect this world. And beyond, Lily pressed his hand. Together, always. The sun rose over Earth, casting gold light across the horizon. Stars glittered beyond. A new chapter began for humanity and its allies, a chapter of hope, unity, and the promise that even in the face of darkness, light could prevail.